Right, hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on the banks of the Belmont estate. It's an afternoon session after work. It's around about 5 o'clock and we're going to be fishing the method feeder in search of carp. So for you guys who've been looking forward to the barbel fishing, I do apologise. The car has been playing up of late, so I've been keeping my journeys really local, the likes of the River Dane, and sessions like this of an evening on the Belmont estate. But be sure, as soon as that card is fixed and up and working, we'll be travelling further afield for those barbel and silvers on the river. So it's about 5 o'clock now when we've arrived on the bank, and as you can see behind me, we've got a bit of cloud, a few bits of blue in the sky. It is one of those warm, muggy evenings, and it's no surprise that we might get the odd thunderstorm or two during the session. So the rod that we're going to be using this evening is the Phase 1 feeder rod from Korum. The rod itself is a 10-foot rod. It's got a 2-ounce tip in the end, and it's going to retail for £29.99. I've paired that up with the matching Phase 1 reel. On there I've got 8-pound line. That's down to a Preston method feeder, a short hook link, and the baits for this evening we're going to be mixing between 2 sets of Hinders wafters. So that is the setup that we're going to be using this evening, and I have been excited for a long time really to get out and use this rod. Being on the team at Korum, you do get to hear about the rods before they're launched, and there are many great rods that they do bring out, you know, £60 rods, £150 rods. But I was interested to see, for £30, what could you get as a starter to the sport and what could it do. So what I've done this evening, I've come out to the Belmont estate, a water that holds predominantly carp, from single figures into doubles, just to see what the rod can do and what you can get for £30. The first thing I did when I arrived was mix the ground bait. Always the first thing to do if you're dealing with ground bait and pellets is get them soaking and mixed. You can see there I've got Hinders 2.3mm, just normal pellets, and I've got some of the Hinders method mix, and in there I've mixed in a few of the pellets as well. They're the 2 baits that we're going to be using. So you've got the option, you know, normally one of the 2 will work better than the other. If it's really good, it won't matter. But it just gives you options, you know, if the water's got colour and you want a bit of smell and less feed, or if you want to go just all out pellet. As I say, the hook bait's just pink and white wafters. For looking at the swim, the main feature is the willow. I'm going to be targeting the right hand side there and the left hand side, and as you can see there's 1 or 2 fish bubbling around that willow, but that is going to be the main focus point. The first cast I'm just going to go up the right hand side of the willow against the bank, just introducing a bit of bait, straight pellet on this one, just to get some bait on the bottom, and then we'll make a few casts with the ground bait just to get some smell in the area as well. But for the first cast I'm going to go nice and positive, straight pellet, and just see if we can pick up a quick fish. So just into the first one, it's gone straight underneath the willow, so just keeping that rod low and try and tease it out. And I've picked this pool today purely because there's a good variety of fish in it. You've got fish just over doubles, probably 10-11 pound, so it'll give the rod a good little work. And this is probably, I think, you know, the type of fishing that people would start doing with it, you know, commercial type fishing for carp, you know, where you could catch fish, you know, 2 or 3 pound, or one a couple of pound. But it's excellent that it's only taken the first cast to get a bite, and it's just coming on that straight pellet. And you can see there, we've not picked a swim that's dead open, you know, we've picked a swim that's going to be challenging. You know, that fish has bolted straight underneath that willow. We're just keeping that rod low. The starts to the session go, they don't come much more beautiful coloured than that, did he? A proper take on the first cast, and a good workout for the rod straight off. You know, straight next to that willow, underneath, keeping the rod low, and these ghosty type fish don't half bite, don't they? And good fun. And with these afternoon sessions after work, it's always great to get the first one on the bank. A beautiful start to an evening's fishing. There's not many things I hate about fishing, but fishing under a brolly is definitely one of them. The second cast, and it's just gone just a bit closer to where that little bit of willow's sticking in the water. So we have gone that little bit closer to the willow this time. Got the rod nice and low, so when we do get a take, or if we get a take, you know, the rod's already low in position. Definitely a lot of activity on the end of that willow. Just lots of bubbling, lots of movement. So we'll give this one a cast because it's gone in a good spot round about there. You can see there the activity on the end of the willow and bubbling. And this second cast might not prove to be the longest. There's quite a lot of bubbling going out just in open water there near that willow. It's getting harder and harder to ignore. So to keep watching the tip on this one, see if we get any indications, any signs of fish. Give it the 5 to 10 minutes, and if not, we'll head straight out there and see if we can pick up whatever's feeding. On the list of the things that you don't want to happen, that's probably up there. 3 young geese gone in the water, mum and dad stay out, young geese want to get back out. Right on the swim. Who'd be an angler, eh? Oh my lord. Sometimes you've just got to laugh. At least they're moving out the way once they've gone in. So after a frantic start, it's been quite a slow bit of the session. Had 2 or 3 casts off the end of the willow, getting lots of little indications. Tried the ground bait and the pellet, but just tiny, you know, pulls on the tip, nothing confident. So I've just gone straight back over there. You can see the rain's come back. So back underneath the brolly. And hopefully just resting that over there. There might be 1 or 2 just mooching around. So the Mr. Weatherman definitely got it wrong. The forecast was for clear skies with the odd shower. Yeah. Well done, Mr. Weatherman. So it seemed like it's taken an absolute age and a deluge of rain for that tip to go round. Plenty of little taps, but eventually it's resulted in a bite. And like I say, been trying off the outside of that tree, plenty of signs, but again not much developing into a bite. And then the third cast over there, the rain seems to have stopped and the tip has eventually gone round. What this place can be like at times, sometimes you get a fish really quickly like we did, and then they seem to melt away and you've got to wait for them to come back. Hopefully with, you know, a bit of the session still to go, we can pick up a few fish towards the end. But it's great to be out after work and getting a bend in the rod. So after getting a bite first cast, I didn't expect to wait quite so long for fish number 2, but wasn't it worth the wait? Look at the lovely markings on that. Complete contrast to the conditions that are wet and ugly. What a beautiful little carp. Fish number 2 in the net, and I don't think all them geese coming down helped, and now we've got Mr. Swell on the pool. Got about an hour of the session left. It's about 8 o'clock now. Like I say, it has been quite slow. So hopefully in this last hour you know, things can pick up. I've certainly walked off here a couple of times and fishing the bread, you know, floating crust, and it does kind of come alive in that last hour. Well, that certainly didn't take as long, probably 5 minutes, and the rod nearly been ripped off the rest as that carp has bolted underneath the willow. So I was keeping the rod low, just try and tease it out. It's beautiful seeing the tip go round and then the boil is it headed along the bank. Well, maybe we should have concentrated on that line over there for most of the night maybe, and not tried that one and just built that one up. It certainly has come a lot quicker than any of the other bites. That's literally 5 minutes and it's gone round again. You can see there, by keeping that rod low, you know, the fish is now coming to open water. You can just play him out then, unless he decides to go and head back for the tree. I have to say, it's, you know, been good fun to use the rod. You know, it's for what, 30 quid. Good fun. And for anyone who's just started in, you know, to the sport, you know, we have to remember that nobody really starts on the canals anymore in this day and age. A lot of people's first experience of fishing is on commercial type waters, fishing for carp, and for that you'd say it was ideal. I would think it would be ideal on a small river for chub as well. You know, on the small rivers that you see on the vlog, I might take it on one of them, you know, one of the overgrown ones. You know, being 10 foot, it'd be ideal. So you wait for ages like buses and two come along at once. So we're going to get it straight back, and hopefully, you know, in this last hour we might be able to pick up one more. But yeah, great fun. And as I say, I've been dying to use that rod since I heard about it, just for curiosity, just to see, you know, what tackle companies in this day and age can do for £30. And yeah, as you can see, for people new to the sport, great fun and usable. So let's get this carp straight back, see if we can get another. Literally on last knockings, just been packing the gear away, and the rod has hooped round, and most definitely will be the last fish of this session. It's been far from a frantic session, but you know, after work, what, this will be carp number 4, so not too shabby. And so we're packing in on a fish, which is always a good thing. These summer sessions I really do enjoy, because in winter you just can't do it, can you? It's dark at 4 o'clock and it's not light till 8 in the morning. So all sessions are either a day off work or a weekend. But at this time of year, you can just nip out after work, get a bend in the rod and have some fun. And that is what fishing is all about, whether you've been doing it 20, 30, 40 years or whether you joined last year because of COVID. It's all about having fun. Started with a nice fish and we're going to end with a nice fish as well. What lovely colours on that. It's been enjoyable this evening. Like I say, in winter you'll be thankful of these sessions when you can't get out. I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog. It's been a bit of a roller coaster with the weather, but that's British fishing for you. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. I want to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.